Okay, so today I have a little kind of fun experiment. So this here is a Peltier cooler. This is mounted on a heatsink with a fan at the bottom of it. Basically how these work is this side gets cold, this side gets hot. So it moves heat through it, kind of like a refrigerator or something like that. So let's do a quick little experiment by putting this on top of a CPU and see how cool we can get the CPU temperatures. And for that experiment, I have a little computer that I'm going to bring out and show. And for the temperature testing, I'm going to be using a Dell Optiplex 755 that I featured in an earlier video. So let's pop up the hood and show the stock cooler first. So here's the insides of that Dell Optiplex 755. We see under here is the stock cooler. It kind of comes with this piece on it. I'm going to remove this in a little bit. It has the intake fan here. It blows to this little, it's a heat pipe cooler. It's not horrible. And temperature-wise, let's go look up at the temperatures that it have. Okay, so this system's idling, as you'd see in usage manager here. And in the temperature manager, I'll run that again. It shows we're pulling 44 on one CPU and 39 degrees Celsius on the other CPU. So let's now put it under load and see what type of temperatures we get under max load. So now it's been running at max load for a few minutes, and if I run that same command again, it's saying 71 degrees Celsius on one core and 68 on the other. So let's go pop off the CPU cooler and put on the Peltier cooler and see how much that changes it. Okay, so let's go pop off the CPU cooler now. So basically all you need is a Phillips head screwdriver to do this. And you just have to go and take out these two screws, which takes off the cooler, and then you have to take off another two screws to take off the little bracket that the cooler sits in. Because it is a custom BTX case, which makes it so that Dell makes it so it's really easy to replace parts if you have the actual proper Dell stuff around, but if you don't, you're not finding third-party things that fit in here. Here it is. It just lifts up like that, and it lifts out. Here's a cooler. It's not that clean. We got the CPU. Let's refocus that. You feel it's actually still warm. There's a little bit of thermal paste on. I might chuck a wee bit more on for good measure. Because it's BTX mounts the coolers at an angle, unlike ATX, which doesn't. And there's also a fan here that blows air past it. I'm not going to touch it. It helps just move a little bit more air. That's never a bad thing. So here's our little cooler that we have right here. Gonna have to go drop this guy on. Okay. Go through a little bit more thermal paste. And this looks reasonable. I'm gonna hold it on the whole time to make sure nothing bad happens. So this is how it's gonna be held in there. It's cooling it down. Now, for the moment of truth, we'll hit the power button. Here's a look. It's still running. I just sleeped it because sleep turns off the power to the chips, which is essentially the same as doing it. It appears to be running fine. Let's go run that sensors command and find out how hot it's running. It's saying 86, which isn't inspiring confidence in me. I might go look at it if it keeps saying, nope, there it goes, it's dropping. I'm gonna let it sit here for a minute. Okay, so the coolest I seem to be able to get it is around 28 and 34 on both of the cores respectively. There's 28, 33, but that's under no load. So let's throw it under load. So it seems like under about no load, we're seeing a about a 10 degree drop. Let's see what happens if I put it under max load. But I'm gonna let it run for 5 minutes under max load and then report back, and then we'll make conclusions. So there you go, under max load, we're seeing a temperature of around 95 degrees Celsius, which is really hot. I'm guessing there's probably a bad thermal connection or something like that. So, conclusion-wise, under idle does run about 10 degrees cooler, which is what I kind of expected to run a bit lower, but it isn't. So, but, yeah, we're seeing around 10 degrees. Under max load, we're running about 10 degrees hotter. I'm guessing it would be able to run at the same or cooler if I had a better thermal connection there. And I might try it one day if I had like liquid cooling and a nice big fancy block to run this guy on with a few of these units. I could probably get much better temperatures. But for now, I'm going to put this guy to sleep and put on the stock cooler because it looks good enough. So thanks for watching this little experiment I did, and please subscribe and like this video if you do.